Hey everyone, it's CL. So it's been quite some time since I've checked in on the Booktube community. I haven't even logged into this account in quite a long time. But now that I'm getting back into it, I was kind of curious to see like what is going on with Booktube, what is it like now, and just overall curious like what the overall vibe is. So in today's video, we're gonna go ahead and check in on Booktube to see what's going on. So I typed in Booktube into my YouTube search engine, and automatically you have a mixture of Booktube hauls. Seems normal, you know, Booktube, you regularly hauling books to talk about what you're reading, what books you're interested in. And mixed in there is like a lot of drama, with Booktube, which I'm not even going to click on those videos. I'm not going to dive in that end of the pool just because I just don't have any interest in drama right now. Like as far as life stresses, I don't need to dive into that portion of Booktube to be stressed out. What I'm also noticing is a lot of new faces. Now, it looks like the Booktube community as a whole has grown since I've been kind of out of the Booktube community, which was what, 1 to 2 years, I think I estimate being gone. And there's definitely a lot of new faces. And with that growth, I am noticing that a lot of channels are pulling in decent views for books. I remember 1 to 2 years ago, there was only like a handful of booktubers that were able to pull in decent views, like over 100,000. But now that I'm browsing Booktube, there are a lot of people that are pulling in decent views for this community that's still kind of like on the grand scheme of YouTube is still like a smaller community. So that's pretty cool. One thing I also noticed is a lot of people around the time that I left, they also left because I think it's very easy to feel burnt out when it comes to like Booktube and when it comes to YouTube in general. A lot of people have taken a break, and some people are still on that break, and then some people are actually finding their way back. So that's kind of nice to see, and I totally advocate if you are feeling stressed out, if you are feeling pressured by reading a bunch of books, it's okay to take a break. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and check my subscription feed. There's a lot of booktubers that I subscribe to on this channel. So let me go ahead and check in and see how they're doing. I hate to say it, a lot of these people I subscribe to, I don't remember them too well anymore. I think because I subscribe to a lot of booktubers, but now that I haven't been in the community in a very long time, some of them, like some people look familiar, but then some people just don't. Some booktubers that I subscribe to that I know at one point solely talked about books are now starting to branch out and talk about other things, which I think is nice. And I think that's why people feel pressured to read books. To keep up with the YouTube community, you are kind of pressured to read a certain amount of books, to have a certain aesthetic when it comes to books, and that is hard to maintain. So seeing people like branch out and like flex their wings a little bit, there's more to a person than being one-dimensional, is kind of nice to see a little bit of branching out. Okay, one thing I am noticing, so the booktubers I subscribe to, I probably stopped subscribing to people about one and a half to 2 years ago, just because I kind of fell off of YouTube and didn't do anything with YouTube. I have noticed that booktubers are starting to pull in better views, but at the same time, the booktubers that I've subscribed to that are still posting, their views are still low. And I don't know if that's because like they've been on the platform for a while and it's hard to get noticed because now the community is becoming oversaturated. I don't know, because a lot of these channels that I have subscribed to that I see that they're still posting, I mean, it seems like the topics that they're posting about are pretty on par with things that are interesting here in the Booktube community. It seems like aesthetic wise that their videos look like they're great quality. So I wonder why it's like some booktubers aren't really pulling in any views, but then there are some booktubers that seem to easily pull in views. And I wonder if there's more favor in like newcomers, like new channels. I wonder if they're like favored in the algorithm or something. But it's a little bit disappointing to see that booktubers that kind of been here for a while are still not pulling in big views, I suppose. Big views in comparison to the newcomers, and I'm not sure whether or not they care, because maybe they don't care. But I just kind of wonder, is there like an equal playing field? But I suppose it doesn't really matter if you are not monetized. If your goal on YouTube is it's just to post because you want to and you don't really care about being monetized. I guess that views doesn't really matter. But if you're someone that kind of would like to be monetized and kind of would like to have some views so you can have this extra monetization money to have in your pocket, I can see how those booktubers that have been around for a while could feel a certain way, that they're just not getting the same amount of attention. And I wonder why that is. A lot of booktubers are really hustling hard. Their videos look really great, aesthetically pleasing. And I think that's something with YouTube as a whole. Like for me, when I look at YouTube, it looks very professional. Like it feels like the majority of channels that are pushed on my feed are channels where it looks so professional. Like they look aesthetically pleasing. All their camera angles are nice and they look great. Everyone's beautiful. And I suppose that's like a social media thing, because if you are in any type of social media, there is a kind of influencer aesthetic that you're supposed to portray so people watch your videos. And it seems like that is kind of the thing across all social media. I think that's why I don't really do social media, in the sense I don't know how to take nice pictures. I don't know how to like capture a moment to make it look so beautiful and aesthetically pleasing. It's just really difficult and I just don't care to learn how to do it. So I'm more of like a viewer. I'm more of a social media consumer. Like I like to look at other people's pages. I don't necessarily post. I'm more of a lurker. But back to Booktube. So another thing that I noticed, that some of the booktubers that I would follow, they were like in their early 20s, still in school, and then now that I'm checking in on them again, I'm like, wow, people really have matured and grown up. Houses have been bought, voices have gotten deeper, they've gotten taller, they've just seemed so more mature and grown since the last time I saw them, which is incredible, you know? I mean, which is normal for people to grow, but it makes me feel old. Like, oh my gosh, I left and you were still a baby. I come back and now you're a grown man. It's one of those things, just add it to the list of all things that make me feel old. So since December is coming up, I was trying to look for a readathon to participate in, like something kind of low-key and casual. And when I typed in readathon in the search engine, a lot of readathons came up for December. At first I was like, oh, well maybe that was like a readathon last year or last month. No, these readathons that I'm seeing on my search page are for December upcoming, and there are a lot of readathons. I'm not gonna lie, I felt a little bit overwhelmed as I was scrolling through because there's so many readathons going on. I wanted to try to participate in one, but now I'm a little bit afraid. Like, I'm not sure I can keep up with what's going on. There are readathons where it's like, read for 24 hours. Like, I for sure am not able to do that. Like, even if I had 24 hours in the day to spare, I just don't want to spend it because I just have other things I need to do. Believe it or not, there's a lot of adulting that needs to be done when you're an adult. I don't want to put pressure on myself trying to read all day long, because then I would just be behind on everything else. So 24-hour readathons, I'm kind of just going to skip. I'm just going to assume that these readathons are upcoming for December. There's the reindeer readathon. I think I saw a readathon that was like the fa-la-la-la-la readathon. Fa-la-la-la-la readathon. There's a 48-hour romance readathon. I think that might have passed already. Looks like a lot of people are participating in the reindeer readathon, so I'll have to check that out. What is that? What does it entail? But all in all, there is definitely some readathons going on in December. I'll check out a couple readathons to see what they're all about, but if it's something that feels like too much pressure, I'm just gonna stay in my own lane and I'll just do my own readathon, which is like read for 10 minutes a day. Yes! My feed that I'm looking at is so funny because there are videos where it's like 24-hour readathon, and then you keep scrolling and it's like, I'm burnt out. These people are lying with how many books they're reading. It is so dramatic. Like, how can a community about books be so dramatic? But so that is my quick check-in with the Booktube community. It seems like the community is really thriving. There's continuous people coming into the community. Lots of videos to catch up on. So all in all, it seems like there's a lot of catching up I have to do within the community just to see like who are these new people, what books are they interested in, what genre is popular right now, just more so out of curiosity. I need to check in on the people I'm subscribed to. I want to see how they're doing, what they've been up to. So yeah, maybe I'll take a couple hours this weekend and just watch a few videos, see how people are, what they're doing, what they're up to, and get caught up. So that is my video for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.